Hello there, my name is Scott Clay. Thanks for joining us today for our special Facebook live streaming event. I've had a great pleasure of touring through Louisiana and Mississippi over the past 3 weeks and performing at various venues, bars, restaurants, you name it. I've had a blast meeting people and getting a chance to dive into blues history and the music history of Louisiana and Mississippi. So today we're at Ferriday, Louisiana, and we're at a very special museum called the Delta Music Museum. And a friend of mine, Linda Gardner, has been kind enough to host a little afternoon session here and give us a little bit of the history of this town and of the region that we're in. And then I'll be sharing a couple songs with you, a special song as well that I've been working on just for this live stream event. And just to kind of preface where we are and how it fits into American culture, there's a special region called the Golden Triangle, or I've also heard it called the Americana Music Triangle. And it basically stretches from Nashville through Memphis, down to Baton Rouge, across New Orleans and back. And anything that fits inside that triangle has a lot of very deep, special music history. And so Ferriday is one of the towns that's inside of that Golden Triangle. So we're going to turn it over to Linda Gardner. I'd like to welcome her right now. She's going to give us history of where we're at, and also a couple of artists that were deeply influenced by what's going on in this town.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. I'm glad we were able to work out this little visit. Ferriday, Louisiana was known mostly in the 40s and 50s as a railroad town, but it also had 3 famous cousins that were from Ferriday: Mickey Gilly, Jimmy Swaggart, and most well-known, Jerry Lee Lewis. They're all first cousins, and they all came from Ferriday. Our museum houses about 27 Hall of Fame inductees. I'm standing in front of Percy Sledge right now. He was born in Alabama, but he lived in Baton Rouge, and that's where he died. And I think his wife still lives there today. But he's mostly known for his "When a Man Loves a Woman" song. The other song that I recognize of his is "Take Time to Know Her." It was a very popular hit. He was a great singer in between 66 and 1969.
And you had a chance to see him live at least once?
When I lived in Gabriel, Mississippi at one time, I won a radio contest for something, and
nice.
got to see him sing "When a Man Loves a Woman," and oftentimes he would have his wife in the audience, because he would like for her to be there when he sang it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very special.
I was listening to Bluesville today, the B.B. King streaming station on Sirius, and there was an artist, I think her name was, I can't remember off the top of my head, like Esther White, and she sang a cover, "When a Woman Loves a Man." Oh. It was pretty cool, from I think a similar era.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's very popular, and his songs are still very popular with the crowds.
Yeah, you hear him. You hear all of his music so often. And when you saw him, where was that? You said it was in
I was living in Greenville, Mississippi.
Okay.
He was supposed to be singing and playing that night at a restaurant. And,
oh, wow.
He sang that song, and I'm sure he sang his other hits.
Sure.
Yeah.
Really just an intimate little venue.
Very small, intimate setting.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
I got to see a lot of famous people in my years since I'm one of those aging baby boomers.
Oh, it's so fun. You've seen probably a lot of the artists that are represented here.
John Fred.
Uh-huh.
Never seen the Neville Brothers, but I'd love to. I did see the play, The $1 Million Quartet, which is about Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, and Elvis.
Uh-huh.
In fact, Jerry Lee
Yeah.
was real good friends.
Yeah. Do you want to take us over and show the photo you said where we can show?
There's a photo over there on the vault door. It's the same photo.
Let's go look at that one real quick, and we'll come back to Aaron Neville. Giving you a little tour of the museum here. So this is what Linda was mentioning, the $1 Million Quartet.
Yes,
And
I was telling Scott that what this picture does not show, when you see the play, if you ever see the play, you need to go see it. But it was cropped out of this picture, but Elvis's current girlfriend was sitting on the end of the piano during this shot. And what's unusual is Elvis is at the piano instead of Jerry Lee. It's Perkins and Johnny Cash.
And they were likely doing some harmonies, like working out a song before.
The night when Sam Phillips let the tape keep rolling, they eventually released that as a CD. We used to
wow.
see it in the gift shop, but
I see.
Pre-ordered it lately, but it's a lot of talking in between.
Sure.
It's kept it rolling. And
Wow.
It's like a last minute
Sure. Session.
Jam session. Yeah.
Now this was Sun Records in Memphis,
Yes,
correct?
Sun Records in Memphis. I believe it was December of 19. I'm not sure what year. I know I have it written down on a poster in there. I'll give it to you later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Elvis,
Elvis had already signed with RCA. He just had to stop in Sun Records when
Gotcha.
when all of them were
Okay.
there.
For a session and
Yeah, so it was kind of
Yeah.
a last minute
Sure.
spontaneous thing.
yeah. Yeah, and so Sun Records had obviously Elvis working out of there. There's a bunch of other in that era, so many other artists recording there.
Actually, they tried to get Jerry Lee's brother, Jimmy Swaggart, to sign a gospel recording contract with them, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Swaggart ended up going to Baton Rouge and
Yep.
starting his own publishing company.
Yeah.
Worldwide Ministry.
Which still exists today.
Yes. And
Amazing.
they're thriving very well.
Sure. And from what I understand, we were talking a little bit about Jerry Lee Lewis, and he would sneak in.
He would sneak into a famous juke joint called Haney's Big House.
Uh huh.
It's not standing anymore, but when he was very young, him and his cousin Jimmy Swaggart would often sneak in. Sometimes Jerry Lee would be by himself. Sometimes Jimmy would be with him.
Yeah.
And Mr. Haney
Uh-huh.
would let him stay as long as he was quiet and nobody
Yeah.
bothered him. But
Yeah.
eventually he would send Jerry Lee home because if it
Uh-huh.
was too late, he'd say, Jerry Lee, you need to go on home now.
Yeah. Because this was a club that would sell alcohol, so
Well, it was known during that day as the Chitlin Circuit, and
Uh-huh.
mostly African Americans went through there. Very iconic names like Tina Turner, B.B. King, Fats Domino, Little Richard. I mean,
yeah.
they would be on their way to or from New Orleans, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
But Jerry Lee would always, happen up in there, and I'm sure Jerry Lee was very influenced by William Haney because when we inducted William Haney in the museum, Jerry Lee Lewis sent us a $500 sponsorship to help pay for the Hall of Fame induction.
Okay.
And William Haney is the only non-musician in
Yeah.
our Music Hall of Fame because he provided a venue
Uh-huh.
for so many people
Sure.
to come through and play.
Oh.
I would have loved to have been able to sit
Sure.
in and watch
Sure.
some of the artists. But
And that was in Ferriday.
that was in
Yeah. Just down the street.
It was probably about a mile
Okay.
from here.
Yeah.
But as you come from Natchez into Ferriday, it was 1 or 2 blocks off the main drag on the left.
Very cool. And it burned down, unfortunately.
It burned down in 1966.
Yep. Lost a lot of history that day, it sounds
Yes.
like. And was the owner still running the club at that time?
He was.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Haney never reopened or rebuilt after that.
Uh-huh.
I think Mr. Haney died in 1972, and it
Yeah.
burned in 66. But that also happened during
Uh-huh.
the civil rights era when a bomb was
Mm-hmm.
planted at a barbershop and killed
Mhm.
local barbers.
Mm.
And, that prompted a lot of the
Sure.
civil rights unrest.
Yeah.
Spilled over into Natchez, Mississippi.
Yeah. A very sad history there and something that never recovered, a business that never quite got back.
He did not rebuild, but he had
Yeah.
Mr. Haney had a hotel, he had a restaurant.
Okay.
He sold insurance.
Sure.
I'm sure he still made a living.
Yeah.
His musical impact on the area
Yeah.
was huge.
Yeah, and that was lost with the
And
building.
I know of, there was a couple of white kids besides Jerry Lee Lewis that
Mm-hmm.
would sneak in and watch whoever was coming through.
Mhm.
Former Natchez Mayor Tony Byrne
Mhm.
and Max Bugler
Mhm.
would come sometimes on a Sunday night when whoever was passing through
Yeah.
to see them, and Mr. Haney didn't send them back.
Sure.
They
You
were
just
old
stay.
enough that he let them stay.
Yep.
Everybody kind of got along.
And the music got into their bones,
And,
just like Elvis.
exactly.
Just
I mean, the music, everybody loved that music.
yeah.
It certainly had a huge impact on Jerry Lee Lewis.
Do you mind taking us over to show us a little bit more about Jerry Lee Lewis, potentially?
We could go
Yeah?
right over there in that
Yeah,
corner.
good.
Is another panel.
Okay.
It's about Jerry Lee Lewis.
Now let's talk about him a little bit.
And he was born in September of 1936.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of the things that's on here, I wanted to point out to you, it talks about when he played at the Apollo Theater in New York, it brought back memories of his early exposure to rhythm and blues at Haney's Big House, a notorious Ferriday nightclub.
Wow. Notorious is quite the word. It means that they had a lot of fun there.
Also, and like most people in the music business, if they're a singer,
Mm-hmm.
they got their start in church. And at age 8, he sang for the first time in the Assembly of God
Wow.
Church on Texas Avenue in Ferriday.
Wow. So just from here, because we're on Louisiana Avenue. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it also points out when he was 13, he sang at the Blue Cat Club in nearby Natchez, Mississippi.
Yep. Yep.
I'm so excited they have such a vibrant,
Yeah.
upcoming music
Beautiful
scene right
place.
there.
Yeah, Natchez, but it's about 11, 12 miles from here, right?
Exactly. About 12,
Yeah.
13, 14
Yeah.
miles. Mhm.
A lot of history there as well.
Yes, it's the oldest city on the Mississippi River.
Mm-hmm.
It beats New Orleans by 3 years.
Wow. Amazing.
And then right behind you is Mickey Gilley.
Mm-hmm.
At one point during the year, they're only separated by like 6 months or 9 months. from
Oh,
each other.
okay.
So they're all. It's 1935 for Jerry Lee, March of 1936 for
Uh-huh.
Mickey Gilley, and March of 35 for Jimmy Swaggart. Now a lot of people don't know it, but Jimmy Swaggart's middle name is Jimmy Lee Swaggart.
Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee Swaggart.
Wow.
His son.
Wow.
His son is named Donnie Lee.
Okay. So just remind me, they're all first
They're
cousins,
all
correct?
first cousins.
But they
Don't
share
know
different,
exactly how they're first cousins, but they are first cousins.
and so they share different last names, which kind of throws us all off. We don't realize how closely related they are.
Of all three of them, though, Jimmy Swaggart has sold the most recordings.
Jimmy Swaggart has, yeah.
Because he has gospel recordings, Bible studies, his sermons, and a lot of other things that's, worldwide through his ministry. And this picture right here was made in I believe, the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And last year when they all got together was the first time all three of them had been together in almost like 40
Wow.
years.
So it's Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis, Jimmy Swaggart, and Mickey Gilley.
Amazing. And you were showing me some videos of Jerry Lee Lewis earlier, and with the fire, the explosions, as he's performing at the end of the song.
Sometimes he liked to kick the piano stool back and stand
Wow.
up and play and put his knee up on the keyboard.
Amazing.
He was very, very entertaining.
Yeah. And you said you'd found a couple gold records or gold 45s.
We had a gold 45 that was in the vault when I came on board, but
Wow.
it's out on display now in the Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it's a Great Balls of Fire.
Wow. Amazing. So much history right here. And the poster you showed me, that was the club, correct? Of the different artists, the yellow record with
That was the Haney's. That
Haney's?
was the poster we used for the
Okay.
William Haney and Hezekiah
Yeah.
Early when we were inducting them in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Amazing.
And those iconic names on that poster looks like a record.
Yep.
And I tried to put as many names
Yeah.
as I could. And then after I printed it, I learned there was a couple more. That didn't make it, like
Sure.
Charles Bailey and
Yeah.
somebody else came in.
Amazing.
Even some comedians came through there, like Red Fox. and
Oh,
Miles
sure.
Bailey.
Entertainment center where the people will
I mean,
go
Miles
through.
Bailey was way ahead of her time.
Wow. Yeah.
I remember seeing her on TV.
Well, let's. Do you have anyone else you want to kind of give us a little dive into, or should we do some music? We could talk about.
Frogman Henry. He
Okay.
opened for the Beatles.
Let's go over that way.
Yeah, you can go through there. Here we go, but-
Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there. And he opened for the Beatles in 1964 at 18 different tour dates along the eastern coast and
Wow.
also some dates that were in Canada.
Wow.
And he currently lives in New Orleans.
Amazing.
Yeah.
18 dates. Early
That's pretty
60s.
cool.
And
His song is Ain't Got No Home.
Ain't Got No Home. And it looks like he's got I Don't Know Why here.
Yeah, he's recorded some other songs.
Amazing.
Ain't Got No Home, I Don't Know Why I Love You, But I Do.
There's a gold
R&B.
record. And he's still there.
Yep.
Still in New Orleans.
I spoke to him on the phone a few weeks ago just to
Amazing.
touch base with him.
I bet the stories of his time with the Beatles must have just been...
I would love to sit and talk about that.
Oh. I would imagine those crowds must have just been just out of control. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Frogman. Well, let's go get this set up here, and I'll see if we can't. See, I want to go this way. I'm gonna just get this like that. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up here. We'll just let it keep rolling. No, we have to go this sideways, but we'll make it work.
You may have to leave it. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for having me out to visit the museum, and thanks for that history. It's a pretty special place in history, and the cool thing is, like, just throughout this whole region, there's just little pockets of culture. Even up in Tupelo when I was up there on Saturday, there's all kinds of music history there as well. So I've got a couple songs I want to share with everyone today. A couple originals I'll start with, which of course have some, as all American music has some blues influence and influence from the artists that came through here. And then I've got a cover song as well I'd like to share, a special one. So this first one is it's an original tune, kind of inspired by some of this early music. So it's called Nothing Like the Real Thing. Baby, I've got your picture hanging on the wall. When I call your name out loud, that picture, it don't do nothing at all. Baby, I read your lips, being around. It's just not the same. I need to hold you in my arms, 'cause only your sweet love can comfort me.
Now, baby.
for sure some influence from some of these old 45s and records that are floating around this place. We'll do another one. This one's called It's Easy. Just finishing up an album right now, and this is again. Well, it was so fun. So last night I went to visit Matt Willis perform at the Under the Hill Saloon in Natchez, and just watching his guitar playing, the influence that comes from this Golden Triangle area, and seeing, you know, the riffs, the blues riffs he was doing, it brought everything to life.
Matt Willis and Gabriel Bass, who you've met recently, are both from Ferriday.
They're from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brent Anderson, I don't know if you met him, but he grew up in Vidalia. He's now back in New Orleans singing.
Okay. Yeah.
So we still have a lot of people in and around the area that still do a lot of music.
And it's just amazing as a guitarist to watch them almost speak this other language, which I understand some of it, but a lot of it's like, wow, look at that blues lick, look at that blues lick. And there's just so much culturally here. So this song is one that kind of bases itself in that as well. So it's called It's Easy. And I wrote it about a beach in the Seattle area. It's called Golden Gardens. And every summer, you know, on Wednesday, Thursday nights, we go down, set up a volleyball net, build a big bonfire in these bonfire pits they have on the beach. And we gather around it, play guitar, do some paddleboarding, do some volleyball, do some whatever, you know, wherever we want to do picnicking. And so we stay there until we get kicked out around midnight or 1 in the morning. And it's beautiful because you have the Puget Sound right in front of you. Behind that is the Olympic Mountains. The sun sets there, and it's just incredible. So this one's called It's Easy, and it's about Golden Gardens. It's easy when the sun goes down. So easy when the sun goes down. Just to hold you, darling, treat you well. We are popping on Saturday, pass around ball and we feeling alright. Lay on the beach tonight, keep in my arms and sway to rhythm of acoustic guitar. Right across the bay, moon's on the horizon. I wanna stay here all night long. 'Cause it's easy, so easy. It's easy, give yourself easy. Just to hold you, darling, treat you well. Scoot your little closer, lean back into my arms. I want you here away from my feeling. I'll be steady on you, I'll be steady on toes. Anyway, you look up at it, you go and knows you. Better come and sing, turn off the alarm. I'm with you all night long. 'Cause it's easy when the sun goes down. So easy when the sun goes down. Just to hold you, darling, and treat you well. Come, you think you love somebody, do you love somebody, do you love somebody, do you love somebody, yeah, you love somebody, tell them that you do now, 'cause I know it's easy when the sun goes down. So easy when the sun goes down, yeah. Just to hold you, darling, and treat you well. Just to hold you now, darling, and treat you well. I'm going to bring up one more song here. This one is a special song just for today. you mentioned so many different artists, amazing artists that have played here. And as I was, reading through the list of artists, the one name popped out, one song title popped out, and it's one by Percy Sledge, who, I would always listen to. I remember just these songs coming up on the radio, back, early days of me just learning to drive and listening to the radio stations as they came through, driving town to town. So this is one that always popped out at me. It's called When a Man Loves a Woman. When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. He'll change the whole world, good thing he found. If she's bad, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. Turn his back on his best friend if he put her down. Well, a man loves a woman, spend his very last time. Try to hold on to what he needs. Well, he gave all of his comforts and sleep out in the rain. If she says that's the way it ought to be, well, this man loves you, woman. I give you everything I had. Try to hold on to your heartless love. Baby, please don't treat me bad. Well, a man loves a woman deep down in his soul. She can break such misery. When she played him for a fool, he's the last one to know. The loving eyes can never see. Oh, when a man loves a woman, he can do no wrong. He can never want some other girl. Oh, when a man loves a woman, I know exactly how he feels. Just baby, my whole world. That's one by Percy Sledge. Thank you,
Great
Linda,
song,
for hosting
great
us,
song.
for hosting me today and everyone that's following along.
I'm so glad you could come.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thanks to everyone tuning in. And we'll be actually releasing this online later. So for those of you that are watching at a later time. And please, on the Facebook link that's there, you'll see the website to the Delta Music Museum. And please, on there you can make a purchase on their store. And I believe that there's a donation page that you're going to...
We're working on that.
But if you could support them with a purchase of a shirt or any merchandise they have. And there's also a nonprofit. I put a link to the nonprofit on the Facebook event page as well. So thanks for tuning in. And Linda, thank you for taking time this afternoon to host.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.